10 points of Frostwind. The Master of Ice, you say 2. 1, 2. And you leave 1 ready for the Blood Mage, I presume. The Icy Wind, Max Frostwind, of course, Frostwind. I don't know why I call it Icy Wind. It's because of World of Warcraft. Then the rest goes for basic attack, I presume. The Guardian, I want it to be of flames to kind of like... I don't know what type of damage this thing does. And max ice missile, and leave 2 points. And the Guardian is like at the lowest. Interesting choice. I trust you. Because 2 points are used for the Blood Mage. Let me see. There. And I leave those 2 for the next level. You do it like that. Okay. Perfect. So the Guardian, like, doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's try it. And listen. The type of damage of the Guardian doesn't matter. When you fight, actually use the Frost Nova. Yeah, I have not been using it, I guess. Like this. Ah, it deals AoE damage. It deals like an AoE damage. You have to hit enemies with Frostwind every time the cooldown goes down. Okay, I've been doing that. Like that. Okay, so it deals extra area of effect damage. Is that the point? Alright, let's practice it. It's a bit of a change. It boosts your ice missile by a percentage. Up to 300. Okay. With the Frostwind. Okay, so that I've been doing it. Okay, yeah, it's gone up. It's gone up. Okay. I need to synchronize it. I think I need to synchronize the groups with it. Great. Let's try it with another site with the rest of the quests, which should be quite easy. Should provide me a lot of experience as well. Shit, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot. You get stacks from Frostwind. Okay, let's see. Like that. Better try it here. That max is 10 stacks. You have to keep them. Where can I see the stacks? I think it's down there. That one. Steering Frost. 11% extra. Okay. Steering Frost. Frost Nova is for harder enemies. Okay. Okay, so you have to keep it. The point of the build is to keep it up. To keep up the damage. Alright, I will need to increase movement speed then. Because it breaks the ice resistances. Okay. Okay. Let's try with this one. Not that it's a hard enemy, but... Okay. Then movement speed is quite important for this build. Because it keeps up the steering frost that will provide you the extra damage. Or just enemies that are hard to kill. Okay, so the point is to keep the steering frost up as much as possible. Okay, yes, in Star Wars The Republic there's a mechanic like that. There's a mechanic like that with the lightning skill tree. Okay. Okay, this one is done. Let's go on with the next one. To collect the mine cord from the... Okay. You'll get the point from level 60. Oh, wait. You'll get the point from level 50. Put 1 point into teleport. Okay. You mean... Okay. Got it. Give me a sec. This one, because it gives you the extra... The mana cost and the increased movement speed. Like that. And that will complement the extra movement speed will help keep up the stacks of the Frostwind. Okay. It's at 4. But it only stacks when... There it is. It only stacks when you target the enemies with that. Okay. You need to make sure that it hits. like that 8, and you have to find the groups of enemies constantly. Okay, here for example it's unavoidable. Okay. Okay. Yup. Okay. There I saw it. 3. For example, now it's at 3 stacks. But doesn't it stack faster with the Frost Nova? Yup, and the more enemies you hit, the more stacks you get. Yeah. It's a quite good mechanic. I see. This is what was mentioning to you the other day. Imagine if all of the skill trees could do this. Frostnova doesn't give any stacks, but it does hit all enemies around you, and if they are affected by the wind, it's more. It's faster at stacking the points, I would say. Doesn't it? It does. It does. If you are surrounded, yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So when you are surrounded, I'll try that. Frostnova is purely for ice resistance break. Okay. And the singularity, would you use it? Would you incorporate it in the rotation? Would you incorporate it in the rotation? Because it does break the armor. I don't know if they use armor. First of all, mobs in this game, normal mobs, do they have armor? Or what? Let's try it with... fuck it, level 53. Let's try it with the Painful Dungeon. Singularity is also for ice resistance breaks. Okay. So, for standard mobs, only the basic attack with the Frost Wind. Interesting. They have no armor, nothing. At all. Like, what happens if I group them up? I know, but this is painful. Careful. Careful, this is painful. You can use other if you have a hard time. Okay. There, I just keep it up. Even if it's one enemy, it allows the stacks to be kept. Shit. Unless you do something stupid like that. (15) 6 seconds. It's better to hit bosses with that, so you keep it up. 18. 19. I see. Yeah, it has only one detail, which is that you need to be quite close in range. And there, your friend will be a normal guardian. Also, when you hit level 50 and put a point into Blood Mage, forget about the Fire Guardian. Your friend will be the normal guardian. When it's alive, it will heal you 10% of your HP per second, but it will deal normal damage. If I need fire damage, what do I do? What do I do if I need like fire damage to counter an enemy that has fire resistance? You don't need fire damage at all. You don't need different types of damage. Alright, that's quite curious. So, no different types of damage at all? Alright, here we'll need a guardian. No, but first I want to do not this quest, because this quest involves killing all of the mobs in the area. And I want the quests that are completed faster, so I get more XP. Hang on a second. When you use Singularity and Frost Nova at the same time, you will break 125 of ice resistance, and you will deal huge amounts of damage. So, Umbra, you are telling me that 70% of the other skill trees are useless? Like, does anyone actually use this magic missile? No. Does anyone actually use the fireball or the meteor? No. It's like, because of the type of damage, no one needs to deal under magic damage, electric damage, or lightning damage, or fire damage. Magic missile is useless as fuck. Okay, so pretty much the elemental variety of the game is useless. Fireball is good for some maps to clear, but with special items. Okay, but you are telling me that 99% of the time. That 99% of the time, there's only one type of elemental damage that is effective. Lightning is good for stacking with the Dragon Knight. Also good for bosses, but only if you have a special amulet and a special pet. Okay, 99% of the time on mage you only use ice. Okay, people, let me enjoy it. Let me enjoy it. Because the question here, indeed, people, is why? Why again? Why? I think we talked about this with you, precisely. Why make the other types of damage useless if you're soloing? And you can also use Fire Guardian for bosses with special skill tree and Ice Essence. Okay, but the point is that you use ice damage 99% of the time. That's a terrible flaw, if you ask me. Like, what? Wait, no. Like, why would you shut up once and for all, this guy? Like, why would you create a game? Why developers would create a game in which only one skill tree? I think you mentioned it to me the other night, that actually it was meant to be played kind of like in groups, like to complement the other classes, but still like it reduces the variety of the gameplay so much that I feel it's a wasted opportunity. Ice damage is the only playable because the mage can only break 100% of ice resistances, and other resistances only 70%. That's why. Why? Why do that? Like, I don't understand. Why, devs? Why? Why do that? Why do that? Like, you are limiting the gameplay mechanics of the class, and I bet the other ones also suffer from it. Like, why? Why would they do that? In that sense. Easy source run of upper shrine? Yeah, we need those 10 mobs. Ah, it's inside of a dungeon that activates the quest instantly. I see the problem. So, I'm beginning to see some issues. Like, there, for example, it's impossible. There's no other group of enemies close. There it is. 9, okay. It's good because it tells you the amount of enemies that you hit. That's good. But it will make the farming a bit easier, a bit faster, much faster in that sense. The problem is the experience rate of the game. I would switch the experience rate a bit, wouldn't you? Whoops, stream lagged for me. Okay. It lagged a bit there with auto. Lagged a bit. Is it okay? Okay. It should be smooth as butter. It should be. Which are the mobs that we are looking for? There we go. There? Is it better? Is it better? Let me check it. Let me check it myself. I see it smoothly. Pretty much. Godam, it's completely frozen. What? It can be. I'm looking at it perfectly. Even when I change the network. You sure I can see it online? I can refresh the page if you'd like to. I see it perfectly. You sure of it? I see it perfectly, huh? I see it perfectly. At all resolutions. I'm trying different resolutions. I see it perfectly, Ambra. I see the stream smoothly and perfectly. I see it perfectly. In fact, I was going to mention that your new skill tree is quite good. Is it working? It's back! Okay. It wasn't my connection, huh? It wasn't my connection, Ambra. It wasn't my connection. It wasn't mine. I could see it all the time and it's as smooth as butter. I wouldn't put it on auto. I would put it on I would start trying 720 60 4080 60 4080. I have it manually generally when I want to watch it. It shouldn't. It should be perfect in that sense. These ones are the ones that we need to kill. I think it was something with only your stream, because no matter if I change the resolution, it was still lagged. Oh well, I don't know. I pay my fiber connection. I pay my fiber connection. That's weird. Linter, the thing is original company. Hey, how are you doing? Hello from the bottom. Hey, that's a Borderland badge that you have there. Hello, welcome to the stream from the bottom of my heart. I do game reviews here. The thing is, the original company sold themselves to some Chinese company. It went downhill from there. No, Ambra. Well, not Ambra. I will do so myself. That's why these are my first streams as affiliate, and the first thing I did was create. I play the game since a long time. Says it hinder. That's why I did this. Look at that koala, how confused it is. Yes, indeed, it hinder. You are not the first viewer that tells me that about the game. I basically review games, just to have a little bit of a quick recap. I review games, Metaphysical, that's true. Yes, Patrick also mentioned, another viewer of the game. Flying Energies and District as well, they both mentioned it. Phantom as well, at least 7 people. Fuck you, says Ambra, but look at that poor koala, he's so happy developing things for the game. No, it hinder. I review games, and one viewer that was also a long time player of this game, District, asked me to review it, to check it out, because it was his game that he had played for a lot of time, like you are all mentioning to me. I review games with my metaphysical system and everything, and I read the whole story. It's even deeper than that. Also, the game, because a black market, is a black market for accounts that have best stats, best items, because early game in this game is terrible. It takes too long to get anywhere. It doesn't matter to me, because I judge games. I qualify them, as you can see. I have a rigorous system. Also, one thing, when you get the Blood Mage, I'm 99% sure you will never die in this difficulty you are playing, says Ambra. Okay, I'll keep it in the back of my head. Okay. It hinder, precisely. Well, precisely. Yes, I've also been told about that. But the point is that no matter how terrible the game it is, I review games. I reviewed a lot of games in these 4 years. And precisely, if I'm going to criticize the game, no matter how terrible it may be, how flawed it may be, I've been highlighting the flaws constantly for weeks and weeks by now. Precisely, for example, the abstract complexity of the skill tree I was highlighting as a problem. It has a terrible influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics because of the lack of objective variety. I was mentioning to Ambra precisely before the discrepancy between the adding content through depth, the amount of time it takes for the player to actually master the gameplay mechanics, and the amount of repetition, of repetitiveness that the game has. I've been highlighting the flaws, but I have the responsibility that if I'm going to criticize a game, I have to at least beat the main story. That's at least what you are doing. You are forgetting about the Frost Wind, says Ambra. Yeah. I know. It's just that I wanted to give him a little bit of a quick recap. I see that you also like Borderlands. I also love Borderlands as well. That's the Borderlands badge, right? Borderlands 4 badge. I remember when I did Cromerax the Invincible, Borderlands 1. I soloed it with a sniper. I remember when I did that. Something that I'm quite proud of. Yeah, play Borderlands from time to time. I love Borderlands. But I have a game that you will love if you love Borderlands. I do game recommendations as well. This is the zone with the acid. Hellgate London. I don't know if you heard about it. I also reviewed it it was a review of not last year, the previous one. Hellgate London. You have London 2038. London 2038 is the precursor of Borderlands 1. I bet you will love it. It's absolutely free. It's the you just need the original. You can procure yourself the original game disc. I can't wait for the Blood Mage to happen. So I highly recommend you Hellgate London. As for this game, as for Drakensang Online, I've been analyzing it constantly, and yes, it has a lot of flaws. That's why one of the first emails after I hit affiliate was the koala there as to why the devs do that. For example, I'm coming from a quest in which I had to go back and forth between two mobs without kind of. Who cares if it takes long, says Amber. Well, I don't understand buying maxed accounts in Drakensang Online. It's messed up. Who cares if it takes long? Game is made for something. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Ambra. I wholeheartedly agree with you. What gives you buying the account? Nothing. No, in fact, you don't learn the gameplay mechanics. But it is I get precisely the first of all, you know that in most games, nothing. You know that in most games, like having a black market of accounts would be a bannable offense in that sense. You know that it's banned in most games. I don't know why in this one they are so lax regarding that, because of the Chinese company doesn't care, and etc. I read that in the first stream precisely. A lot of people go the easy way out and buy max characters because they want to skip the grind. Says just obtain everything by yourself. Well, precisely. And I think they would fucked up in the head and lazy as fuck. Yeah, well, I think we all three agree on that. That's for sure. I think we all three agree on that. That too. Well, no. The pacing of the experience, as I said, it would be a bannable offense in most games, and I would 100% include it like that. I would ruin some people's businesses in that sense, but the experience, I've been mentioning this, the pacing of the experience, I've been playing like with another viewer, just to have a bit of a recap it in there. Basically, a viewer, District, the one that asked me to review his game, his favorite game, this one, precisely, he asked me, he has been helping me with the boosted farming, like going to Hagastone Grotto and doing some, and beating him a dungeon at a higher level, so I don't have to do the thing that you see here, for example. But I cannot take that into account. As a valid way of farming, because it implies playing the game in a way in which you need, like, at least not a community, but at least one or two people with you in that sense. In that sense. So forcing that upon people, and even so it takes time because we had to do several runs, huh? So forcing that upon people, it only exposes what you mentioned in your first message, the terrible pacing of the experience curve that it has. A terrible pacing of the experience curve that it has. Without a doubt, as I've been mentioning. Also, Razor, one question. Have you tried getting the Legend Factory achievement from crafting higher tier items from the lower tier ones? No, Umbra. It's kinda crucial for stat progression. I don't know how that pretty much works yet, Umbra, because precisely you say that getting the Legend Factory achievement, crafting a higher tier item from a lower tier. No, I've only been crafting the items needed for the storyline, pretty much. How does it affect the stats? That's interesting for the analysis. Collect 4 green items and some other ones for smelt, and I'll explain it to you. That's interesting. It does affect your stats, the stat system of the game, besides the wisdom skill tree and the other ones. In that sense, does it affect the stats system of the game? Quite interesting, because I was mentioning precisely, you put 4 green, says it hinder, you put 4 greens into crafting bench and it crafts 1 blue item. You collect the enchantments and switch them between it. Okay, I think I should have. Shit, if I don't get killed. The thing is, I'm lacking 1 more, but there we go. 10 out of 10. There we go. But you need the achievement for that. Alright. You guide me, Umbra. Anyways, the worst part, it hinder. I don't know, I mentioned it already to Umbra. The worst part of this game is not the experience curve, if you ask me. Is that it froze again for me. It froze for you. It freezes for you. It freezes, the stream freezes for you, Umbra. It should be smooth as butter. That is weird. My connection is perfect, Umbra. Huh? I think it will be on your part, that one. Let me check. It's as smooth as fuck. I'm back. Okay. It works again. It froze it for a bit too for me. Okay. Okay, like a black screen. Or is it that... Okay. Then I'll look into it. But it should be fixed. As after affiliate, it should auto-regulate the resolution. Not a black screen, just a freeze. Okay. But it was also for you. Okay. It's hand. Okay. For 2 people. Well, if it's 2 people, then I'll have to look into it. I'll see what I can do. But my connection should be at the top quality. Yeah. It should be smooth as fuck, in that sense. Alright, then I'll look into it. Weird. Could it be that... find a place without enemies and I'll show you... and I'll show you... No, I was mentioning... But let me wrap up the concept first. Let's go back to town. I'm done with the quest. Let me wrap up the concept for it here. The worst part, if you ask me, in the few 16 days that I've been playing, the worst part is not the pacing of the leveling, but the fact that you are locked out of the main quest if your level is way too low. Like I mentioned it to Phantom the other day, to another viewer. If you, and to Patrick as well, if the player is reckless and wants, for example, now you can see here I'm locked out of the main quest, I cannot proceed, that's why I'm having to go back and farm. If the player wants to do a quest that is several levels above his level and wants to be reckless, why not let him? Maybe there is a player. Open the inventory and hover over the item, then hold Y. We need to identify it first. There you can see it. And look at the enchantments. I need to be green quality. Here. Minus armor value and critical value on the item. You mean this one, Ambra? You mean this one? But yeah, the worst part is I would let in the framework of the level design, as Ambra tells me about it, I will follow your instructions. Don't worry, Ambra. Is that I've been mentioning it, I've been analyzing the game, and you can switch between the items. Okay, you can switch the enchantments between the items. I've been mentioning that the worst part is that if a player, maybe there's a player that is reckless, but is also a genius, and for some godforsaken reason, doesn't matter which, can actually make it through a level 50 dungeon at 48 or 49 or whatever, or 52 or 56. But not letting the player is absolutely restrictive, if you ask me. Legendary unique set mythic items can hold up to 4 enchantments, says Ambra. Okay, but what you need me to do to activate it? In that sense, in the meantime, I'll turn in the quests. So basically, in that sense, I think it's a terrible flaw of the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. Go to the workbench. Okay, we turn in that one, and we go to the workbench. I think it's a terrible influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics, like locking out the player from the main quest. Locking out the player from the main quest. It was here. Just because of the level, it completely destroys the first of all the sequence of the storyline. I know that most people don't care about the storyline, but second, and crafted blue items. Put 4 greens. Do I have 4 greens, Ambra? I have purple ones. I can use my gear, I guess. I had some more. Wait, at the stash. You have to craft 10 blue, 20 purple, and 30 legendary items. Don't use your gear. Okay, I think I had some more here. Hang on a second. Purple, I have 3 purples here. I think I'm lacking 1. Shit. I think I'm lacking 1. Small lucky 1. No. They have another blue here, and the green one. Ah, I see. You can craft legend. You can craft. Don't use your gear. You can craft legendary yet. Okay. Okay. So can't. Okay. Okay. Then let me turn in the item. Let me keep doing the quests and grab some more. So blood. I have a lot of items from the quests. Let me. This one. Gone missing. Which one is the NPC? You can go to the blacksmith. Close. To the blacksmith. You mentioned right here. That mage starting next to you is me. If you need help or anything, which one? Which one is it, you? So I can add you. This one? This one with, well, I cannot pronounce the name. It's in, I think it has Russian symbols. Is this one? This one is me in the dragon. On the dragon. All right, that's you. Okay, dragon. You need to smelt items to get the glyphs. With glyphs, you can combine items. No, but wait, Ambra, because because if he can help me do 1 Havestone Grotto, I could level up a bit as to progress with the main story. What I was mentioning, precisely a bit. If it's okay, it's hinder. I don't want. I generally don't like stealing people's time like that because I know you are all doing endgame stuff and etc. I can help you level up. Yeah. Okay. Let's not make him waste his time if he has to do other things and those things. If he can help me level up a bit, you can tell me with the blacksmith. You need to smelt the item. I don't mind. I'm pretty much maxed almost. Okay, so quickly we can smelt the items. Which one would it be? Melt the item. I'll give you a long message explanation. Okay. You'll leave it. So in the meantime, I don't want to waste his time if he's kind enough as to. If also thank you from the bottom of my heart. It hinder for if you help me farm Hagastone Grotto a bit on infernal difficulty. We can do that. That's what I've been doing with district. If you like, Well, if you like, I would love it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart if you help me. If you don't mind. Which one was it? This one. Yeah, I don't know the commands. I'm new to the game. As I said, I stream variety. I analyze games. So pretty much Kings Hill, Hagavstone, Grotto, I think it was. That district showed me that it's quite fast. Yeah, pretty much I as Ambra writes the message, then the messages are saved, Ambra anyways, huh? Then I watch them in a bold, and then I can, with that, for example, uh, remember all the things. That's how I remember most of the things that District tells me about the game regarding that. So I think it was this one, Hearthstone Grotto, and District did it with up to. I can crank it up to Merciless, and I have both experience boosts up. So I just enter, more or less it was like Fatal. Yes, is the max I could. I think this District taught me how to do it like that. Oh, oh mercy. Okay, it's as fast as I could and distributed. No, by the way, it hinder precisely. I generally review games. That's why I stream variety. In that sense, I stream variety because I know that my crazy panels down here sometimes are quite difficult for anyone who discovers the stream first time to figure it out. I'm basically a scholastic philosopher and I review games in that sense. That's why I stream variety. Um, pretty much. For me, I analyze crazy things like, for example, uh, the interactions of our mental perceptions in the metaphysical plane of time and space, things like that. Viewers mostly watch me not because I'm like a pro at any game. At any game, you can use XP, scroll for more XP. I had it active. I ran out. I ran out of it. There we go. Yeah, I have it here. The Tome of Experience. There we go. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Indeed. In that sense, I review the games. I review the games precisely because, as I said, the main protagonist of the stream is not that I am a pro at any game. I am at one, you could say, at Star Wars: Your Republic, but generally the audiences of each game they don't overlap in that sense if they like one game or the other. But generally, in that sense, I do reviews. For example, I analyze things like the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. For example, in the first day of a stream of this one, I mentioned that since the passages are narrow and and you don't have a lot of room to maneuver, that creates a natural source of difficulty in which you get killed. I still play this game because of nostalgia. I played this game since a kid. Oh, the same as Patrick and Flying Energies. Oh, you played since you were a kid. Well, it's like me with Star Wars: The Republic. I can see why. I thought about the story. You know that this game is actually the third in the series, huh? It was a surprise for some of my viewers. And don't worry, Ambra, I still remember that you will have the explanation. You just leave it written down here and there. Alright, when you have the items, right now, the green ones, collect 4 of them, you can combine them to get the higher tier ones. From 4 green ones, you can go... Alright, so you scale through it. It already counts to the achievement. Right now, you can't smell blue, purple and legendary ones if you don't want to use them. Once you craft 10 blue items, you can start crafting purple ones from the blue ones. Craft 20 of them to get the ability of crafting legendary ones. Then craft 30 of them. Alright, so it goes kind of like exponentially higher. The ability of switching the enhancement between the... Okay. Perfect. I think I got it. But anyways, thank you, Ambra, because the messages are like recorded and then I just rewatch the VOD and have the explanation. Now, as mentioned to you, it hindered that precisely the rest of my viewers have told me something similar, that they played this game since from a very young age, the same. And I mentioned to them, when I do the reviews and etc., I mentioned to them, besides the metaphysical aspects and the crazy stuff that I review in game. For example, I was reviewing the other day the naming convention of Fetch Quest, what at the beginning of the stream, things like that, or the impact of the economic system on the game. those things. They all told me that they play the game since they were very very young, and because of that, they still played even if they don't like the destiny of the company. And in the first stream, precisely, I mentioned to them that this is the third game in the series. Actually, the original game was Drakensang 1: The Dark Eye. I don't know if you like Baldur's Gate clones like that. Well, that means you have your well, Ambra, as you can see, is more of a pro. The same goes for Patrick. That he's from Hungary, so he joins his time zone is a bit earlier. He arrives at the beginning of the streams generally. So yeah, pretty much they are all pros at the game by now. I'm generally, since I stream variety, 25,379. Not that bad. In that sense, not bad, not bad at all. In that sense, could I kill one of them? I wonder. I know 104 is the level. Yeah, precisely. This is the problem of the. At least you'll get could have been better. You'll get it 100% one because the mythic one is incoming. Okay, yeah, already just out of the game. No, precisely. I read that the history of this game is that Radon Labs was the original developer of Drakensang 1: The Dark Eye, which is like a Baldur's Gate clone, a 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons game, and then Radon Labs was acquired. But at least you get it. It's fine. I have a lot of damage anyway. Kinda don't need any more. Is it? Yeah, pretty much. I should. Whatever. Let me restart here. Here we go. I think you anyways get experience when you're dead. So yeah, pretty much. Um, Radon Labs was the original company that was then acquired by I think it was the first one, because the first owner wasn't the Chinese company. The first owner wasn't the Chinese company. The first one, I don't know if it was Deep Silver or something like that. And then, after absorbing the original team from Drakensang 1: The Dark Eye, then the Chinese company acquired it and implemented all the shit that, for example, Patrick also hates it. In that sense, he always remembers the good old days of the game. Here I have to restart the dungeon. Merciless maximum. There we go. In that sense, I think with one more it should unlock the quest. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. From my heart, it hinder. I wish I could. I can offer you. Wait, as you clear the dungeon, give me a sec, people, because I bet that if he likes Borderlands, he'll appreciate this. Give me a sec. Since you clear the dungeon, the quest and also the Blood Mage. Okay, the quest and the Blood Mage it will unlock. Yes, indeed. Here I'll show you something that I bet you'll like if you like Borderlands. Since you are a pro at this game, I'll show you one which I have a bit more of experience. And so you, because then otherwise it's just kind of like basic gameplay that I show here because of the fact that I stream variety. So at least like this, I will show. No, what's this? Let me get there. Give me a second. I have to log. There. I'll show something. It will be quite good. Block that. Let me get into my account here. Don't worry, Ambra. I can see your messages, but wait a second because I'm trying to find something for him. That I see that. There we go. Now, let me get into Studio. It was quite difficult to find because I did it long ago. You can already switch the Fire Guardian for the normal one already. Okay, I will do so, Ambra. Okay. Give me a sec because I have to search. I want to show you. Because otherwise it's just... Where is it? There it is, the beast. Oof, this one took me. This one was a pain to deal with. But I could do it in the end. Since I saw from the batch that you like Borderlands, here I'll give you a little interesting thing, which is a solo Chromorax the Invincible kill there, because otherwise, since I stream variety, is all too basic. There you have the nice Chromorax the Invincible. It has the nice Chromorax the Invincible, like 100% there, in that sense. There you go. With there it is. Perfect. There we go. It works. The Blood Mage. Okay, we'll check it out. Yeah, just a little gift, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me with the thingy. There you have it. Because since I stream variety, because the protagonist is more the metaphysical analysis and the reviews that I do, quite extensive, quite long, pretty much. There you have at least a game that I practiced a lot. Well, there it is. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The Grand Mage. Yeah, I think it was going to take the rest of the night otherwise. So yeah, it's terrible the experience pacing of it. But well, there you have. If anyone has problems with, in general, dealing with Chromorax the Invincible, which is a group boss, as a sniper, you can solo it like that in Borderlands 1. The huge difference between Borderlands 1 and 2, always remember the key is that the sniper rifle is 100% accurate in Borderlands 2, but not in Borderlands 1. That's the key difference that few people know about. Oh, good. Yes, Ambra, I haven't forgotten about it. I just wanted to show you. You got the additional quest. Message from Amon. Brave soul, we need your help. Tales of your heroic acts have reached the parallel world. Passage between your realm and the underworld. Enter the chamber of Panoltiaco in Nahuatlan to reach us. We are counting on ya. But gives you one, says Ambra. Ambra, it's incredible that you. What it draws my attention. What is fascinating is that you enjoy leveling rather than the end game. In that sense, you enjoy the leveling experience of the game. In that sense, it's the endgame city you unlock on level 50. It's the quest with 20 enemy levels higher I was telling you about. The message you got. Okay. So that one is after I finish the main story, after I finish analyzing the main story. Then I do, of course, the final analysis once I finish the main story. So that's kind of like beyond the main story. Okay, I'll keep it in the back of my head. In that sense. I'll keep it in the back of my head. Okay, it's this one. The moment you touch this scroll, starts to go for a powerful throw. Well, the main story continues there. Okay, so it's part of the main story. Okay. I get it. It's part of the main story still. Okay, we'll see. It's right after the desert. Okay, Ambra. Okay, it's after the main story. Okay. As for the items that you mentioned to me, you meant. Let me remove this. So I can loot several blue ones that we can melt as you mentioned. In that sense. As for the rest, as I was mentioning, it hinders. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for lending a hand. It contributes to the pacing of the stream. District Phantom, they all have helped with it, and you as well, because other viewers that you may see they chat in other days, they all have different time zones. In that sense, so deep thanks. You get the point for the Blood Mage. Yes, I got it here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it fixes kind of like the pacing, the terrible pacing experience curve of this game. So I'm trying your 10 talent points. Ambra, I think there was a miscalculation. It requires 10 talent points, not 1. It was 10, it is 10. Oh god, XD! Well, skill tree fucked up again. No worries, we can reactivate it. Anyways, the Frost Nova, I think just a little one moon. I help a lot of people in this game, says it's Hinder. Since the end game is very repetitive, it gives me joy giving another player a hand. He said, "Well, you are another kind." So, if there's one thing I cannot understand is how the developers of this game have such an amazing community, because you are the third person that does this for me. How they have such an amazing community and they don't keep up the content for it, because of the part of the repetitiveness that Ambra was precisely mentioning to me at the beginning of the stream. Is what I have been mentioning. I rationalize a lot of things in the analysis that I do, in the several reviews that I do, and it's actually like this. When the player base, like you are mentioning, or Ambra or everyone, mentions that the game is repetitive, think about it like this. But is the sequential rotation of it boring? No, you all actually enjoy activating the abilities and everything. When the concept of repetitiveness comes into play is when there's a disparity, an objective disparity between adding adding replayability to the game through content and the depth. The concept of depth is one that I recurrently use, which is the amount of time it takes for the player to actually master the gameplay mechanics. In this game, you all master the gameplay mechanics. See how the empirical evidence matches with the theory. You all master the gameplay mechanics extremely fast, but the developers don't add enough content to it. They don't add enough content to it as to keep up with that. So there's a disparity between the depth, you have already mastered the gameplay mechanics, and the content, the new maps that they add to it. I've seen it in a lot of games. As I said, if you, for example, like the formula of Borderlands, you will love a Hellgate London. And another one that I played is Sacred 2. Sacred 2, that game may change your life. I have the review. It's the game that I reviewed last year. Sacred 2, they are about to remaster it. I highly recommend it. Okay, I don't know if with 50, let me check 1 second. If with 50 I have enough as to proceed with the main story. There is gonna be new storyline update. Oh, sorry. Alright, but put 1 point. Okay, at the 5th, adding 1 new boss and 1 new gear set. Okay, it's the one that District and Umbra have been mentioning. Let me check if it unlocked the main story of the game. Alright, put 1 point into Blood Mage, 2 points into Master of Fight. I cannot. It demands 10, Umbra. It demands 10. It demands 10 talent points. You are asking me to reset the whole skill tree. Yeah, I think it's this one, Heraja in danger. Heraja was a peaceful town until a month ago. Since then, the desert animals have been attacking us. Yay, it unlocked! Thank you. It unlocked a bit, a lot. He'll need a bit of help. There's gonna be... Because it's only for level 100. Yeah, it's best to reset it. Okay. No worries, Ambra, because District will probably be around for that event that he mentioned to me. If you... My bad. I forgot it takes 10 points. Okay. No, don't worry. No worries. I'll reset it. Yeah, you have to be level 100 to start it. Okay. But District mentioned to me that you can somehow join it, even if you are of a lower level, in that sense. Okay. I can proceed with the main quest, I think. If you'd like to yeah, you have to be 100% started. I will reset the skill tree, checked, and well, pretty much I was mentioning that this game adds a lot of repetitiveness through adding content, but not the depth in a lot of cases. For example, I posed this question to several viewers. What do you think that only for the mage class, I haven't played the rest, only the Frost skill tree has a sequential rotation? Switch the Fire Guardian for the normal one. Okay, we're doing it. What do you think that only the Frost skill tree has a sequential rotation? This was the main topic of analysis last week that I did. I have mentioned that if the game had a sequential rotation for the Fire branch, for the Lightning branch, and for the Under Magic branch. Alright, there, that one will leave it like that. You said Master of Ice. I will take it from the Frost Nova. Also switch the Fire Guardian. Okay, yeah, no worries. Just follow the tree. Alright, put 1 point. Yeah, I will follow the tree. I'll follow the tree, Umbra 4. First, this one and this one, they are like 100% required. They're 100% required. And then the Singularity, I use it a lot for the... I will follow 1 point here. Well, Ice Missile last. No. Ice Missile, I wouldn't put it last, honestly. Because I don't know if you'll have enough points. No. I'm using this more than the Frost Nova. No. No, Umbra. No, because then... I'm using this much more than this, if you ask me. In that sense. Let me check. Frost Nova is for resistance breaks. That's why. And I already have the Singularity for that. Like that. And, well, the Guardian doesn't matter. I've switched it. And they're ready. You need to reach 100% resistance. You use Ice Nova and Singularity at the same time to break the ice resists on mini bosses or bosses. Okay, first, as I don't like taking time from people. See, he agrees. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I don't doubt your expertise of the game, Umbra. It's not that I doubt your expertise of the game. It's just that, in the case of this one, the Frost Nova, I don't use it that much as this one. It's a basic combo for a mage. XD. Yes, but I have been posing this question. Why is it only that the Frost skill tree is sequential? As I've said, the other ones are non-sequential. It's a question that I've been posing to my viewers. Precisely it hinder. Precisely. The Frost skill tree actually enhances the other abilities as you activate them in a sequential rotation. I think it's a pity, as for the review and everything, that the other branches are not like the Frost one. Everyone uses Ice only. Everything else is bad. Okay, Umbra, how would you have done it? Then you want me to remove them from the Ice Missile? In that sense, you'd like me to remove it, but I think I use this one much more than the Frost Nova because of the range. Because of the range. Well, I want your skill tree to... Well, I would put remaining points into Ice Missile. Then it's like I did it. Because the Frostwind boost... Then is what I was saying. I would go for Ice Missile rather than Frost Nova. Unless this does something... No, it doesn't. No, this one is good at 0. I think this will deal the highest amount of damage. And you need the ice resistance it breaks. Yes, because at that point... Look at this, Umbra. This one anyways will break it, and it has much better range than this one. Alright. It's hinder. If you would like to help me with some more levels, if you have to do endgame content, I don't want to bother you. I can... The main quest has already unlocked, so because without the Frost Nova and Singularity, you'll deal little to no damage, especially for bosses. But the bosses, I can somehow kite them, like around them. In that sense, I've already unlocked the quest. I thank you deeply. I really don't like consuming the time of anyone else, of you, if you wanted to do some endgame level stuff and etc. I can help you show help you. Show me the way to go, and I don't remember the quest. No, the main quest I can handle it, like on stream, like doing the main quests. Or would you like to do the main quests with me? Your choice. I can offer you helping me farm some more levels, or proceed a bit through the dungeons with me of the main quest. Yes, you want to check out the main quest. It's been a while since you've done it. You don't do the end game. Okay, we can do it. We can do it. All right, let me check out the journal. Hyraja in danger. Go to the Great Desert. Okay. I don't mind anything. A break from IPS blood chest loop is what the fuck? Entirely up to you. A break from IPS. What the fuck, Ambra? What the fuck? What's a blood chest? All right, let me increase it to the highest I can. Here, painful. So at least, well, it won't be a challenge for you, but at least so it's a bit more effective. Q5 Hell XD? What? You're talking about older seasons of the game. Yes, literally. Yes, Umbra loves to remember the good old days, just like Patrick as well. Patrick is... you're also a mage, look at that. You're also a mage. Interesting. Well, at least I picked a decent class, I guess. Came back 2.5 months ago and already done... Not only if I've got... Oh, well, Umbra is beginning to remember his good old times. Then we just need Patrick to do kind of like a trio of nostalgics about the game. Patrick also loves talking about it. C4 filling my face is his account, but he generally joins at the beginning of the stream. He has to log like quite early in that sense because he has his own duties. Even so, the other day when the channel hit affiliate, he stayed up until the end. In that sense, he was incredible. He's also an incredible person. Incredible. That says, I'll max out my Dragon Knight soon and working on my mage now. If I ask you to, because I know that feeling of continuously playing a game and not others, what would you say still keeps you glued to the game, that still keeps you interested in the game, even if you consider it like what I mentioned, the disparity between content and depth repetitive? What brings you back to the game still? You're asking too hard questions, says Ambra. No, Ambra, I'm a reviewer and I need to know those things, because only when you rationalize a metaphysical entity you actually get to understand its inherent nature in the plane of time and space. For example, Ilhender, I enjoy playing with friends and doing anything. The community makes me play the game. Alright, so it's the community for you, rather than the content itself. Yeah, that's true, to be honest. See, there was a reason. Then Umbra, then there was a reason. Playing with his guild. I think you had mentioned something similar, Umbra, that you would stay and chat with your guild. Talk to Bassem in High Raja. Okay. Let me go back. I'll go back for a second, turn in the quest, and and we can keep proceeding with it. In that sense, playing with the guild. Okay. No, I have an idea. Because here the level is not favoring me, because this is the main story, and I can more or less find my way. Let's travel to Lortak for a second. We can do the dungeons there that I was doing, so I have it cleared. In that sense, bruh, yesterday I couldn't hear my own thoughts. 20 people on the voice chat at the same time with his guild. Don't tell me that that also when new players join my guild, I'll help them if they're new to the game. In that sense, we can do the quests in here. See if I had the no, this one no, this one I already did. This one, collect the powder from one of the here, so you can remember the good old days of doing quests as I've been doing here in Lortak. In Lortak, here I have some side quests. If you'd like, I have some side quests that I generally don't do them, and like this, you can relive the old days. Same, Brigavik, my beloved. Briga is so annoying. Also when you play Brigavik, And the love brigade, so I mean, Brigavik. So here, collect the powder from one of the dream shrooms in the sleepy caverns. Alright, through here, just follow me. I pretty much have the arrow. You can kill everything that you want, then I will scale the difficulty for you immediately. Here I can't because it's not a dungeon. Pretty much. As you can see, I've been doing this. Other aspects that I've analyzed of the game, here, I will... Excruciating? No, it goes out to painful. It should get up to 60 in that sense. Like that. Always playing with 2 clients as one. I'm killing the slashes on your Dragon Knight. Always play... Well, yes, Umbra does extreme things like that. Here, here you can defeat all enemies and they should be... Well, they are at 80. It's quite close to... They would one-shot kill me, probably. In that sense. And there's another quest. Let's see if it was through here. Speak to Amelie. Here, collect the powder. As you can kill him. I have to collect the powder apparently here. Like through here. And in the meantime I can check out that. Hey! It's true, the blood mage. They no longer consume any mana. Oh damn it. Sorry people. It's bashing time for the game, for the analysis. What is the point of eliminating one economic resource of the game entirely? Wow, this is quite interesting. So, one resource of the game is eliminated entirely. Ah, look at that. Yeah, more or less they are in between. Well, it doesn't get rid. Yeah, Umbra. It does. The abilities no longer consume mana. Yeah, I wasn't expecting. It's a quite interesting influence of the economic system of the game on the gameplay mechanics. You are using your health instead of it. Really? Oh wow. Oh, I see. It's true. You are using your health instead. It's like in Dragon Age Origins. In Dragon Age Origins, the Blood Mage is like that. Exactly like that. Let me find that. Spawn your Guardian. Okay, and that one protects you. Where's it? There we go. That powder should be here somewhere. It will heal you 10% of your HP per sec. Ah, interesting. So they switched the economic system of the game and the economic influence on the gameplay mechanics as you reach level 50. Alright. And it's a drastic change. Oh wait, on 1 out of 5 blood mages, it's 2% only, I think. The powder should be here. In that sense. Okay. Well. Quite a dramatic. This should be the mushrooms. 1, 2. I am bored, says the mushroom. What the fuck? Okay. Then I have this one. Collect 3 pouches of pure water from the center of the Opal Shrine. Okay, then to Opal Shrine I can go. In that sense, whenever you get tired, it hinder you tell me and no worries, and always thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's incredible. I was mentioning how the community of this game is so kind, so polite as well, so incredibly cheerful as well. It's incredibly cheerful. Patrick, for example, as well. And the developers just don't give you all the attention you all deserve. In that sense, for example, in Star Wars: Your Republic, my main game that I play, my Drakensang, that's focusing on maxing out your Frost Nova right now. Then you can worry about your Blood Mage. It's terrible because in Star Wars: Your Republic, the second they release new content like every month, and the second they don't release any new content, the community like insults them immediately. It's like there's a high level of demand, like 100%, in which they don't let them the developers in that sense slow down regarding the content. And it's not only the content; they also have to take care of the skill trees and everything. They constantly update them. Can I increase it to excruciating? No, at least there, that one. So in that sense, it is absolutely terrible. All right, I'm gonna head to sleep for now, says Ambra. All right, Ambra, thank you from the bottom of my heart for visiting today and the other day when I was playing Titan Quest as well. And the other, good night, Ambra, and thank you for all of your help with the skill tree. Now I'm using Patrick's Wisdom's tree and your skill tree. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Ambra. Deep thanks. And see you all in the next one. See you in the next one. As for the rest, precisely at Hander, I was mentioning that as I do reviews, in the case of this game, I try to get as to what makes a game good or bad objectively. Right, yeah, true. That you can revive District also did those things precisely. What makes the game good or bad objectively in that sense? I know it sounds quite weird, quite weird, but as I said, I'm a scholastic philosopher, and for me, very old school of thought. Uh, as I said, well, I can tell you a bit about myself. I'm basically from Argentina. A long, faraway country close to Antarctica, but I also have Italian citizenship in that sense. So I have both because of blood, right? Precisely. And in that sense, where I need filter bias of the pure water of the Holy Spring. It should be here. No, it's not here. Is my dungeon here? Alright. Filter bias of the purest water. Ocean of Opal Shrine. Isn't it this one? It should be this one. Gone missing. Pure water here. Here it is. It should lead me to the water. Yes, I was right. It should lead me to the water. And the monsters are also there. But it should lead me to the water. In that sense. Let me see. Here. Yes, it's through here. So I'm from that remote country, and as I'm a scholastic philosopher, when I analyze games, I stream variety. In that sense, I'm never tied to a single game. That's one of the vials of water. In that sense, for me, I analyze not my mental perception of what I can start seeing in the game, but for me, there's an objective metaphysical reality in the plane of time and space. Quite weird stuff, but it's basically what I do here on the channel, and basically what the reviews are about. I analyze things like the influence of the level design of the gameplay mechanics. For example, as I've said, the source of the difficulty being narrow dungeons, and that creating a natural source of difficulty for the game, having those narrow dungeons. Oh, interesting. Yes. I basically, in that sense, that's what precisely what my viewers have liked throughout time, more than the gameplay is in that sense the secondary element of it, compared to the oh, that clipping. I don't know why that clipping is constantly. It should be through here, but I mean, I'm like a lost. I'm like wandering around in the desert. No, I did this map. It's just that the clipping of those monsters is terrible. In that sense, let me get out of the acid. So yes, pretty much for me, there's an objective metaphysical reality in time and space, and I analyze metaphysical entities. This is quite interesting. I mentioned it several times. I think it's this one. Yeah, nice. It's this one. I got. Check out the next one. Be Firebat from Faragon's Path of Fire. From the collection of both of them are in Faragon's Path of Fire. We can go back to town and from there go to it. We can go back to town and from there go back to Faragon's Path of Fire. If you would like to follow me in the little quest. I have seen one channel that was visiting all games or games that are almost never played by anyone. Well, that's the idea. That's the idea of my channel. I do those things, but when a viewer requests me to review a specific game, I don't know if for example, if you have any any others. When they ask me, generally over a Discord or followers or whatever, I do kind of like reviews by the kind of like on demand, like what the person wants. Basically, I review the game, I dissect them. You can see that, for example, and I end up with the final analysis. I analyze one topic per stream of whatever the game may be, and then I get into a final analysis that I can take. My final analysis of Sacred 2 that I recommended, for example, took 4 hours. I can spend 4 hours dissecting everything that the games had to offer. For example, like like that. I dissect up to the last very bit of detail like that. And the key that makes the reviews quite different, the developers of Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Shard, and 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 also even Cast Rise of the Mage, see that they are quite obscure. They were the first viewers that I had on the channel, and basically since that inspired me to continue doing it for the rest of the audience. I have, for example, a quite amazing follower from the United Kingdom, Crowbar always, Pekaren, for example, Ambra here was from Poland, and Patrick from Hungary. Generally, it's a good way to look at the games and see some of the players still play and show the game to new players. I did that in a lot of cases with Sacred 2. With Sacred 2. You're from Poland too? No way! Damn it! And Ambra is gone. No, no way, no way. And Ambra was also from Poland. They were compatriots. No, damn it, and he had to go to sleep. Okay, okay. Yeah, in that sense, you would be my fourth Polish viewer. I don't know. Polish viewers always love my streams. I don't know why. It's so far. It's the top one geography alongside the United States. The United States could also be. I have several viewers from the United States. In that sense, yeah, generally. So yeah, it's like that. It's a draw. It's a draw between the United States and Poland. A lot of Polish people play a Drakensang, and it's most of the player base. Yeah, I see. And do you like The Witcher? You like The Witcher? I played The Witcher 1 on the hardest difficulty, and The Witcher 2 on the highest difficulty. I need to play the third one a bit more in depth. And you like The Witcher? The Witcher, because Ambra doesn't like The Witcher. Ambra doesn't like The Witcher. We asked him the other day with another viewer, with Jacob from Sechia, and he said, well, I don't like The Witcher. Yes, you like it. You played 2 and 3 but never tried the first one. Oof. Well, you have a quite divisive path before you, because they are going to remaster it, and the gameplay will be more like the third one. You have a divisive path. You know that the gameplay mechanics of the first one, they inherited the Aurora engine from BioWare in that sense. The Aurora engine from BioWare in that sense, and a lot of the mechanics and the combat is quite different. And most people hate the combat. I love it. I might be on the minority. I have seen also the trailer for The Witcher 4. Yes. But they are going to remaster the first one in that sense, and well, you have a divisive path before you, because you have the opportunity to play right now the first one with the original combat gameplay as it was, or wait until the remaster. When the remaster for the first game comes out, I will definitely try it. And the original one is a combat that may feel dated for you. I love it. I love the combat. It's deeper than what most people make it out to be. It's much deeper. I completed it on the hardest difficulty, and it was quite deeper than what the reviews made it out to be in that sense. Alright, I think I needed one more in this zone. It's not fair to answer Dwarven Iron, but what I always mention about The Witcher with the third entry, precisely, is that it was the huge achievement of the game, besides the great open world and everything, is that it revolutionized the concept of fetch quest. The quality of of the side quest would equal in writing the quality of the main quest. It's the huge element that few reviewers rationalize about it. However, I always name this that using the writing. There's another mission in this very same region. I think yeah, it is there. Precisely. The other aspect of it is that the naming convention of fetch quests derived from I have the inventory full, my bad. Derived from World of Warcraft. Why is it that we call something a fetch quest, people? This is precisely what I generally say. Is that why do we do that? Generally, the player base calls something a fetch quest because it puts the emphasis, indeed, on the storyline. And I think that's a terrible mistake. Why? Because a video game is not a movie. I think that the naming convention of fetch quest should derive the quality not from the writing itself. Alright, it's this thing. Collect 5 pieces of dwarven iron from the collector's chests in Fergon's Path of Fire. I think it doesn't derive from that. Do you know what I consider that it should derive from? From the objective variety. And you will see it related to Drakensang in that sense. For example, what you are doing right now, that is, at the end of the day, like escorting me. Imagine if Drakensang Online had quests in which instead of another player, it would be an NPC that you have to protect like this from not dying, and if it dies, you fail the quest or whatever. In that sense, imagine that the NPC just follows a line and you have to protect it. For example, the objective variety would add a lot of great replayability to the game. That's why I mentioned it. A fetch quest is not repetitive and it's not terrible because of the fact that it has a terrible writing in an RPG or a classic RPG or whatever. It's because of the objective variety. The influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics is something that I mention constantly. For example, as one of the elements, because a game can be repetitive. Repetitiveness, on the contrary, is good on its own when the depth of the combat gameplay mechanics is balanced with it. I'm going back to town to turn in the quests and grab the next one. In that sense, if this Yoltak the Wise is the next one that I have a side quest like there, would hate that kind of quest. For example, escorting that. And what other objective would it be? You would hate that kind of quest, but it would give it variety. Or for example, I don't know, defending a specific location for, I don't know, 10 minutes rather than going and killing 10 mobs. The little close rider is dead. Those times, okay, keep her for her mother and her pet. It's good because like this, I'm not kind of like going crazy, and in fact, I'm showcasing everything that the game has to offer. Lives in the cradle of life. Okay, we can go to the cradle of life in that sense. It says you hit that quest, but don't you think the game would benefit from having a bit of objective variety? Like you eventually we all eventually get tired from just killing the mobs, like having different objectives. For example, Sacred 2 does that. There are some quests in which I highly recommend Sacred 2 to everyone. It also depends what kind of quest. I wouldn't mind farming one location multiple times if the grind was actually rewarding. Okay, so for you, it's the type of reward that they would offer. It also depends what kind of quest type it is. I would have been mentioning it. If there are two elements that I analyze also the economic system of the game and the psychological impact on the player and everything, and precisely, I said that I would add, for example, an auction house like Diablo 3, because like this, the economy of each player is kind of like isolated. Like imagine that you farmed, I don't know, a good weapon on your Dragon Knight. That is, I think, the other class for the game that people generally use. But you loot stuff, and for whatever reason you don't have other classes, and you don't want to put it on in your stash. You could sell it to players for gold, for example, and that could mitigate the farming in the lower levels for experienced players if they want to roll any of the other 3 classes, or even for new players, because new players would be able to acquire it would be able to acquire items from other players, for example. In that sense, imagine that you could sell items to other players in that sense. Would you like that? For example, Phantom didn't like it, another viewer of the channel. Phantom didn't like the idea of having an auction house, for example. In terms of the type of quest, yes, I would add some objective. Farming gold in Drakensang is very easy, so you wouldn't need the auction house. You would do it like directly. Okay, collected blood leaf. It was here, this one. Here, the field trigger. Ah, alright, I have 2. Oh, alright, I have 2 here. Okay, I grouped them up. You can farm millions of gold. Okay, and so basically you can acquire everything with one class. The Underman trade would make more sense, but also you can farm it, but not as much as gold. Okay, well, like that one, allowing players to trade Underman, or trade objects for Underman in that sense. I would have added though that, you know what, to dynamize the economy a bit, in that sense. And as for the rest, I would have added, hey, the flower should be here. No, it's this one, the Holy Spring. There we go. Hey, there's another Holy Spring there. Okay, yes, pretty much. I would have added that. And in terms of the rest, yes, I would have added more objective variety. There's a game, precisely that I have been mentioning. You have the full crazy 4-hour review that I did that inspired a lot of people to play the game of Sacred 2. On the other hand, some players said that it would make it too easy to obtain the best tier of gear. Yeah. Since pay to win still exists yeah, I've seen it. I have been told that there are some mounts that sell for 300 euros or something crazy like that. Something like that. So yeah. Yeah, I've been told those things. Yes, okay, yes, and I've also been told they do. Well, yeah, in that sense, as I've said, going back to the history of this game, of this company, it was first Radon Labs. You know which one you maybe would like? Did you play Drakensang 1, the Dark Eye? Like the original Baldur's Gate clone, that was the origins of this one. There you will see the origins of this game if you want a more classic experience. It's similar to Baldur's Gate, for example, or to The Witcher 1 for that matter. It's like 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons real time with pause. Maybe if you don't like the pay to win mechanics that the game has, maybe you can explore Drakensang 1 and 2. This is actually the 3rd one. I have never played Baldur's Gate. Oh well, I highly recommend you because it's the father of all RPGs. It's real time with pause. I don't know but have you played any real time with pause game in general? I do game recommendations as well, besides analyzing, in that sense. Quest Pirates to the next call cannot be home. I heard about Drakensang 1, but never played it. It's a great entry point because it's an easy 3.5 real time with pause game. Alright, I bet it can be any of those question marks that I see there. It has to be any of these. Like this. Ah, okay. Okay, I can just use them up. Okay, I recommend you, because there you will see the origins of the genre. The story is like this. I told it on stream several times. Before Diablo 1, Baldur's Gate, a quite old game, is still the father of all real-time with pause games. At the beginning, real-time games weren't a thing in the gaming industry. We are talking about the 90s and the 80s. It's not the beginning, but it's when the RPG fever of the Super Nintendo pretty much took. Oh, never knew that. Yes, I talk a lot about gaming history and those things. Basically, Diablo actually has an internal clock. It's just that it was turned down to 0 by David Brevik, the one of the brothers that created the first Diablo, in that sense. So pretty much, all right. And there's the fountain, the other fountain, all right there to the north. Mm. But at the beginning, RPG games, it's like this. Like this, you know, more than 99% of people talking about RPGs and in general, and games in general. First, let's say at the beginning, at the dawn of time, uh, we had Dragon Quest, more or less. More or less, it's like very very light story in that sense. Like in general, Dragon Quest, which was turn-based, and it inspired a lot of turn-based Japanese RPGs. They were all Japanese. But then, with the advent of another game from the West called the Ultima Online, that one popularized the MMORPG formula that then was perfected in 2004 by World of Warcraft. But basically, before those, they were all turn-based, and even real-time with posts like Baldur's Gate, it internally has a system of internal turns. Like it takes 2 seconds, I think it was 2 seconds, for a turn to be fulfilled, and you see it in real time. It gives the idea of real time, but it's not 100% real time in that sense. Lay them occupying the Orchidia Vitae's aura of life and bring him back to life. All right, bring him back to life. I think I did this doing one of the main quests. We have to knock on the door of the Guardian once again. Okay. Yeah, to access that, you have to knock on the door of the Guardian, unless it changed. It was like this for the rest of my playthrough. I think I had to get like the Guardian key to access that dungeon for the story mode. I think one has to kill the Guardian here, or is it? Yeah, here it is. Here's this that Guardian that you have to kill to get the access to the dungeon. Or is it different in these randomized dungeons? I don't know. I generally don't do the randomized dungeons. You need the key there. You grab the key, and now it should let us get in there. But yes, basically Dragon Quest, it inspired a lot, included Pokemon, for example. Pokemon, it was inspired by Dragon Quest in that sense. I think that I don't know if the Guardian always drops the key. Yeah. And if you need extra, you reset the location. Yeah, I knew. I discovered that the hard way previously. Quest guidance complete. Drop the life there. Yeah, perfect. Oh, there was a little surprise there. Okay, I think I know we can. I think you cleared them all. I'm just a passive observer in that sense. In that sense, it inspired Pokemon, but they were still turn-based. That is the key. Then Diablo 1 is the one game that David Brevik, supposedly the moment was like this. The light shone through the window. It was like that. I read it basically on stream when I analyzed Hellgate London. If you like Borderlands, you will love Hellgate London. It's the predecessor. Of the other game of Borderlands. Precisely, few people know about it. It's Hellgate London. You have London 2038, that is a community-backed version of it that it has extra content. It's absolutely free. You just need to procure, you understand me, an original copy of it. But if you can procure an original copy of the game that already has no owner, let's say, because then they changed it for an MMORPG version, London 2038, I can assure you, you have gameplay of it. I analyzed it 2 years ago. It's amazing. London 2038. If you like Borderlands, there you will find the hidden predecessor. I try to understand what you are saying. XD. No. Why? You mean the pronunciation? Is it because of the pronunciation? Hellgate London, like this. Hellgate London, 2038. It's like that. That one is the predecessor of Borderlands, like the original Borderlands. Like that. It's like the original version of Borderlands. It's made by the creators of Diablo, in that sense. And well, if you like Drakensang Online, I don't know. Have you tried Path of Exile? Never heard of it. Yeah, it's quite obscure. That's what I do on the channel as well. Tell people the games that they don't know they will love. But if you like if you love Borderlands, that one, because good games. I played Path of Exile 1 and the second one. Good games. I played Path of Exile 1, the main story. I just did the main story. Most people here that I've asked, I don't know if it was particularly Ambra. District didn't like it. Another viewer, they didn't like, because of the abstract complexity of a skill tree. Basically, they like more the skill tree to be more direct. I love it. I played old game and played a lot of Path of Exile. Okay, well, I would love to play it again eventually. If you're still around, would love to play it with you. There I have an endgame character that I did the main story and left it like that. I left it like that. Let me get rid of the materials 1 sec. I would love to play it with you then. I would love to play with you, Path of Exile, because I need like a reintroduction to the game. Understanding the basics is very hard, but once you get it, it's fun to play. I beat up until the main story. I combined in Path of Exile. You know what I did? I did a nasty uh, skill tree in which my attack speed would increase, and also the blood, the bleeding percentage. It's the same that I have in Titan Quest. That I'm this is the other game that I'm playing. I'm basically reviewing this one and doing leisure gameplay of Titan Quest, basically without analyzing it. It's gameplay that I would do on my own. Deliver the Tooth Necklace. There we go. So then I would love to play Path of Exile with with you. I would love to play Path of Exile. I would love to play it because I need to finish my. All the time I played Path of Exile, I only learned was to copy someone else's build. I don't know. I still have my original build from back when I played at launch. Trying it myself, I was too much thinking. I did it myself. I did it myself, um, and I love it. I love. For me, I know that here in my channel, people, the rest of you that are watching this as a YouTube pod, as a Twitch pod, don't kill me. I know that you don't like Path of Exile. I know that you don't like Path of Exile. Fargon's Path of Exile. Collect a magic flamestone from a furious fire protector. That sounds quite nice. All right, here they keep sending the quests. Interestingly, there. So I would love to play Path of Exile with you, because there I like at launch at 1.0 I did the whole story and I said, there's no more content. This is it. My work here is done. You have 3,000 plus hours in Path of Exile 1 and still copy the builds from another content creators. Okay. No, well, then I would love to. I wanted to do a review of Path of Exile eventually. I wanted to do a review of Path of Exile eventually. In that sense, so perfect. The Path of Exile 1 campaign is a tutorial. XD, it took me a lot of time to finish it, precisely. Is a tutorial. Well, that would be nice, because I like that one. I like that one. I love the skill tree there. It was. I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was. I think it revitalized. You know what? It revitalized the formula of Diablo 2. Oh, I forgot to set the dungeon properly. Wait. That is way too low. It wouldn't pose a challenge, and well, the other ones also don't pose a challenge. But at least the other ones somehow can at least kill me in that sense. No, let me increase it to painful. There we go. I love the game. Gives you more options than limits. That's what I miss in other isometric action RPG games. Indeed, it's what I have been mentioning. It's a topic that I mentioned, and I cited Path of Exile when I mentioned it while playing Drakensang Online. What you are mentioning is the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. What does it do? It enhances replayability, not through content, through depth. And by depth, I mean the amount of time it takes for any player to be efficient in combat. From 0 to 100 to be efficient in combat. in that sense, not the level, to be like percentages, like to be efficient in combat. And in that sense, Path of Exile, the depth of the extra complexity of the skill tree enhances the replayability in a natural, organic way. That's the case. But also the thing that Path of Exile is missing, but Drakensang has in that sense. What would it be? What would it be in that sense? What would you say? That's quite interesting. A quite interesting thought. What would you say that Path of Exile, that Drakensang has, that Path of Exile doesn't have? Your guild. You can keep upgrading your character for a long time and see the progress. And you hit a threshold in Path of Exile. You mean you feel that you hit a threshold. You feel that you hit a threshold. Like you stayed there, and in Path of Exile 1 you hit the point, you get the best gear, you have only 2 options. Okay? What would they be? Quite interesting. I haven't gotten to the end game. Then it would be interesting. It would be an honor for me if make a new build or stop playing until the next content update. Yes, in that sense, it's like Star Wars: Your Republic, which is my favorite game. Yes. But I think that if, in that sense, if we had to measure, which one they have, as I said, Drakensang adds the replayability then through the upgrading your character for a long time, basically the stat system. Basically, it's the stat system, people. And the other one through real maps that it has, adding more maps to the game. Make a new build or stop playing until the next one. I would love to see those two things mixed into one. I can point you to some options like that. I can point you to some options. Well, do you like World of Warcraft style games? Like World of Warcraft here? Having options and upgrading your character almost infinitely. That one is much more difficult. I can point you to one that will take you a long time if you do all of the side quests. Do you mind if the game is offline? Or does it need to be online? If you don't mind if the game is offline, I might recommend Sacred 2. I have played World of Warcraft, but I don't like the paying monthly. Perfect. I have the game for you. I can try if it's... I will recommend you. If you don't mind playing it single player, Sacred 2. Just... You can play it... Well, they're about to release the remastered edition version of it. I mean, you can try it if it's offline, okay. They're about to release the remastered version of it. Sacred 2, like this, in case my pronunciation is not perfect. Sacred 2, offline. It's offline. That one has the map of Skyrim. The extension of the terrain of Skyrim. But it has several difficulties. Imagine Skyrim with several difficulties, and it has the isometric camera of Drakensang. I would say you would enjoy it a lot. Then, you say you played World of Warcraft, but you don't like paying monthly. Okay. Then for you, my favorite game of all time, Star Wars: The Old Republic. You don't need to like Star Wars. That is the game that I played the most in my life. The game is endless. It's 8 games in one. It has the classic BioWare storytelling. It's my favorite game of all time, and I've reviewed... You can check out in my YouTube channel that I've reviewed... I have 4 years of reviewing games and literally playing since 1995. Out of all of the millions of games, that one, you just pay $15 once, and that's it. You can get to the max level. Then you have some limitations that you can sort out and everything. I will give those a try. Thank you. If you want the version of World of Warcraft with the things that you are asking me, Star Wars New Republic is free to play. You can play up to level 60 completely free. Completely free. Completely. And if you really like the isometric camera, Sacred 2. If you like World of Warcraft more online, Star Wars New Republic. That one, up to level 60, completely free. Then, only once, $15. Up to level 80, and the game is eternal. You won't be able to beat it. You won't be able to. I assure you, you won't be able to beat it. It's 8 games in one, for starters, and then they add content every month since 2012. It's a game that I play the most. I can introduce you to it, like you helped me with this one. Since you helped me with this one, like you did with this one, I can lend you a hand with that one if you'd like. It has PvP, player versus player, player versus environment. If you really want an infinite game, that one, I assure you, you won't be able to finish it. I throw the gauntlet of the challenge. In that sense, it hinders. I can assure you. And then, if you like something that is a bit more limited, London 2038. With those 3 that I'm naming you, you are covered. You can tell that they are not common games that I'm mentioning to you. That they are not. It's gonna be hard to manage to play these many games. Oh, pick only one then, if you'd like. If you like something a bit shorter, I play other games at Drakensang. You do? Which ones? I'd love to know that. Generally, so far, the players of Drakensang are like exclusively for that game. I do variety instead. I do variety streaming, and in that sense, the fan base of this one is like very, very dedicated. I generally as well play others. Titan Quest, for example, I'm playing The Division 2. Well, that one is quite great. Haven't played it myself, but Path of Exile 1 and 2. Alright, you like them more online. You like them more online than offline in that sense. Then I can recommend you, I assure you, Star Wars New Republic will be infinite for you. 100%. If you like them more online. If you like the online component of it. As I've said, if you want something more retro in that sense, once again, something more from the period of time of this one, the predecessor of Borderlands. I love the Division 2. The thing, you can be like a soldier and the RPG component. I love when they combine those things. Few people know. You can see that I name quite obscure games here on the channel. What I do, for example, when I play, the level designer of Ivencast Rise of the Mage was one of my first viewers. He's from Austria, and Ivencast Rise of the Mage is another one that is forgotten to time. The same goes for Advent Rising. It gets boring. Most of the RPGs is in medieval times. Okay, so Star Wars: The Republic is science fiction. There it will give you a change of pace. Then, for everything that you are describing, I can calmly suggest you my favorite game of all time. If you like World of Warcraft, if you somehow tolerated the gameplay, if you like the gameplay of World of Warcraft, I know if you like the gameplay of World of Warcraft, the tab targeting combat system, if you like that one, then that one will be infinite. It fills both requirements. I actually played a lot of Lego versions of Star Wars as a kid on the Xbox 360. You like the Xbox 360? Well, then I can give you some amazing. I played almost all types of Star Wars Lego games. Was made the Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars 3 is amazing. I love Star Wars: The Clone Wars, for example. Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars 3. You know that they released a new one, right? I bet you played it then. The Skywalker Saga, the new one that they released with all of them, they upgraded the mechanics. It's more like a modern game. And I have good news for you, if you like those. I have amazing good news for you. Few people know about this because it hasn't been replicated in a lot of news portals. Lego games are incorporating new difficulties, so they stop being extremely easy, which would be the main complaint that I would have as part of a player base in that sense. I lost track of the Lego games. Only played them this as a kid, but would love to try it like the old. I have. Then, if you like those, if you would like to remember the old times, there's they there we go. There we go. They're about to add extra difficulties to the new ones that they release. For example, there's a Batman that they've announced at Germany over at the Gamescom that they will start adding difficulty. That they will start adding difficulty in that sense to those. So it's quite amazing. Then I love Lego Star Wars. Well, but if you like I like some bit of challenge. Okay, so for that, have you played Star Wars the Force Unleashed? That one will be quite short. It's quite short, but it's an amazing game. The Force Unleashed, for example, I haven't met a single person that didn't like the Force Unleashed one. It's short but sweet. That one you would love it, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That one you would love it without a doubt. If you like the Lego games of Star Wars. I don't think I did the Force Unleashed. Just know that the 6th generation version is completely different than the 7th generation version. In that sense, you say you like the Xbox 360, then you probably like Gears of War, probably, and Halo. You like shooting games, or more like RPG, like Diablo. If it's like those, in the Cradle of Life. Okay, the Cradle of Life. Yeah, I think it was another dungeon. Anyways, we cleared the zone through here. Yeah, pretty much. I still have the Xbox 360, but not logged in. Oh well, I wish I had a video capture. This is something that I mentioned. I wish I had a video capture. I also mod my consoles. For example, you have over at YouTube my modded PS Vita showcase. For example, and there you can see that it's not a normal console. I wish I had a video capture for the Xbox 360. I used to play shooters a lot. Well, oh damn it! If you played Gears of War, I don't remember the name. I have it. Shit, I have it on Discord. I think I have it here. Give me a second. If you like Gears of War, there's a mod that makes it infinite. It adds bots and you can play multiplayer. It's absolutely crazy. It adds horde mode in that sense. I see Gears of War people play, but never the massive. And what shooters did you play on the Xbox 360? Sorry that I'm so curious, but I love. I explore the libraries of a lot of consoles, and pretty much I love it when I have another viewer, Pekaren, another friend of the channel, precisely that has a collection of consoles, and pretty much the same. I love knowing what you played back in those days, because pretty much we are all from the same generation. My most played shooter was GTA 5, and I played Call of Duty, and you didn't have the time to play online. Okay, so GTA 5. Okay, so only single player, no problem. If you played GTA, if you like GTA and shooters back still, and you still have that Xbox 360, you need to play Crackdown 1 and 2. They're not like the third one. The third one was much worse. But you need to play Crackdown. GTA was my whole childhood. You like Grand Theft Auto? Alright. That's nice to hear. You need to play Crackdown and Saints Row. Then, in that sense, you will love them. You like GTA. Okay. That's nice to hear. Well, I started with Vice City in that sense. With Vice City, there's a crime. I have a crime. I must confess, I have a crime. You played Saints Row 3. I played every single GTA ever released. Tough question. San Andreas or Vice City? Which is the favorite one? Your favorite one? I never played San Andreas. It's one of the few famous games that I haven't tried. in that sense. So I have no way to measure it. Which one would you say is better, Vice City or San Andreas? You would pick San Andreas. Okay. Then my mistake is now amplified tenfold, ladies and gentlemen. My mistake is amplified tenfold. You would pick it over Vice City. I would ask why. It perfected the formula. Maybe. Or those. You would pick San Andreas over Vice City. Okay. Right. You know that you can play the three of them on the PS Vita. You played both, and you prefer San Andreas. You know that you can play both of them on the PS Vita and the Switch. I like the story more. Okay. Even so, it's curious because you mentioned that being from Poland, you just like me. Well, in my case, I live in the Americas, but I'm also European. But you also being European, it's weird to. I know if it happened to you. It's weird to relate. It's difficult to relate to the extremely Americanized story of San Andreas for us. Let's say Argentina. Well, I didn't tell you. Basically, my country, like Canada, was a combination of French and British. My country is a combination of Italians and Spaniards, and basically it has like the strongest European inheritance of all of the Americas, in that sense, to the point that a lot of us are dual citizens. So I find it weird. I've always found weird to adapt to the extremely Americanized story of San Andreas in that sense compared to Vice City. But I haven't played it. I would need to play it, but I haven't finished it. I played it. I haven't finished it. Never. I could never finish it. But it's like that the cultural barrier of entry is higher. Like I feel that the cultural barrier of entry is higher in comparison. Like Vice City is more of a classic mafia, Italian mafia story. I don't know, classic mafia. So for me, in that sense, maybe it's a bias. But the truth of the matter is that it's easier to it's a more versatile cultural connection that it can establish with the player. A more versatile cultural connection in that sense. I have seen the definitive editions of all GTAs, but I don't like them. No, that's why I was mentioning to you. That's why. The PS Vita, they weren't originally released for them. A lot of people that like the franchise have that problem. That's why I was mentioning it. If you get a modded PS Vita, you can play the original versions on the go, not the ones from the trilogy that they made a lot of changes. In that sense, that's why I recommended it. You can play the original versions. Modders manually ported them as they weren't originally released for the game. In that sense, for the platform. That's why. I don't know a PS Vita never had that. Well, if you want a portable version that is not the definitive version, that's your solution. As for the Xbox 360, you have to play, well, if you like GTA, Crackdown, and if you play Saints Row, you will feel right at home. The final level is not like GTA. The final level of Crackdown 1 is probably among the highest challenges that you will have in terms of that kind of games. It took me several weeks to get through it. The final level of Crackdown 1, you can Google it over at YouTube. It's absolutely amazing. The final level, the final tower, it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in that sense. It will, I can assure you, it will satiate your thank you for the revive. It will satiate your thirst for difficulty 100%. Alright, the stupid key again. The Crackdown 1 for that Xbox 360, I bet the game must be dirt cheap by now. The first one, only for the final level, is worth it. Besides, it also breaks the fourth wall. Sometimes it says, when you do something good, it says, "Well done, player. Well done, agent. You are doing all right. Agent, are you stupid?" Things like that. It breaks the fourth wall constantly. It's absolutely amazing in that sense. I mean, I like difficulty, but not like Masochist type XD. It's not like Masochist type. It's in the range that you are asking for. The final level of Crackdown 1 will be like GTA. Oh, and it's still exclusive to I also have one, to the Xbox 360. The final level of Crackdown 1. In that sense, I can assure you it won't disappoint you. It won't have that much of a story component, Crackdown. You're just an agent and you progress through it. But I can assure you that one, that final level, some others are hard, but that one, I bet you'll love it. I bet you'll love it. I bet you'll love it. 100%. You don't like Masochist? Crackdown would be perfect. Crackdown would be perfect. The first one for you. It will be like Saints Row, but without the fantasy element that much. So it'll be an in between in that sense. It hinder. And as I said, I would love to. I was planning to review Path of Exile in that sense. So I would love to play it with you the same as with Drakensang any day. In that sense. In that sense. In that sense. And I love that you play a lot of variety of games, because I generally mention obscure games that no one heard about, and in my experience, most of the time people play only one game, and like that you cannot expand the horizon of available choices. One of our friends introduced you into the Yakuza game series, and I completely fell in love with it, as it's a beat 'em up type of game, but very fun. Yes, it combines the elements of Grand Theft Auto and the beat 'em up portion of it. Yes, it's quite amazing. No, well, I can I can introduce you to any genre that you could think of. Here I will show you, because all right, you have, okay. You can see that in one of the links I have the review vault. Here I can show you, I think I could minimize it, that this is my desktop. I generally have an animated background because of the stream. I have it deactivated. But basically, the single player type of game I have ever played, honestly. So you like them with a bit of beat 'em up. Mm. So you like them being open world, but also with beat 'em up elements. Another one that I would recommend to you, let me see. Well, this is my desktop, and here, as you can see, I have recorded all of the history of video games. For example, here's Baldur's Gate that I was mentioning to you. As you can see, I have them classified by genre and everything, like in the 90s, because I don't like relying on launchers. I would recommend you also Darksiders 2, if you like that, with beat 'em up elements, and this one will also have RPG elements. Darksiders 2, you can't go wrong with that one. If you like, that looks sick. Yeah, well, I can show you what it looks like with the animated background. Give me a second. Generally, looks like this. Well, give me a second, because I don't want for everyone to see them. It took me 10 years. I don't think that it is appeared overnight, people. Don't think that this appeared overnight. Give me a second. So yes, I review obscure games that didn't have, that for one reason or another didn't have the option to shine back in the day. But I also do game recommendations to viewers precisely, and I have had a lot of success. I have had people start playing, for example, the ones that I recommended to you, Sacred 2, um, because of my analysis of it, of mentioning that how it was influenced by the different, here I'll show you, by the different games and etc. And basically because of it, as you can see, I recommend from everyone. I created this system like myself. Like this, I don't have to rely on launchers. I like get the game from the launcher, if it's a Steam, if it's good old games, if it's whatever, and I pick them there. So I have all of the genres pretty much. For isometric action RPG, you can check out the review vault, here the link, and I go one by one explaining what each of them is. I have reverse engineered servers of MMORPGs. For example, this is an offline version of World of Warcraft. You mentioned that you like World of Warcraft. You can create an offline reverse engineered version of it, and you can play it offline. For example, I can solo the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I can recommend you mods that will allow you to solo the raids, for example, in that sense. It's just that I cannot show it here on Twitch. For example, I cannot show it here on Twitch at all. I can show you this, and that's pretty much it. But basically, this is an offline version of it, which I play on my own without paying the monthly that I agree is absolutely out of touch with reality. It's absolutely out of touch with reality, and you can mod it in a way in which you'll be able to solo the raids. So you'll have much more content in that sense. So the same goes for Ion, the same goes for Terra. There I have several. There are Lineage 2, for example. You could do this one, an offline version of this one. If you like, which one was it? RuneScape. If you like RuneScape, that one may be too old for our generation. This one is a modern version of it. It's an offline game. The Black Grimmer Curse Breaker, it will be like an offline MMORPG, for example. And well, like that, if you ever want any genre recommendation, it's what I do. The other game that I'm playing on stream tomorrow, for example, is Titan Quest. That is also quite good. And in that sense, I love doing those game recommendations. So yeah, I go one by one in the review vault and everything. So RuneScape I have seen it, never tried. Seems boring, Emo, but I can tell I think I'll try. I highly recommend you play this one instead. It's few people know about this one. Few people know it. It must be you, me, and very few people that I recommended it over at Discord as well. This one is by the same player base that played RuneScape for years and years and years, and it's a completely new game. I would recommend you to first play this game, and if you really like it, the formula is an offline game, the Black Grimmer Curse Breaker. If you really like the formula, then go for RuneScape, for example. Well, and as you can see, well, my favorite genre, well, this is more about, it's a bit more personal. My favorite genre is the RTS games. I like RTS games, as you can see there. I like RTS games. Oh, well, now it's because I have the other one that they don't zoom out. There we go. I like my favorite genre is RTS. The channel, as you can read, I started reviewing old school RTS games, but sadly, no one paid attention to my poor self, and that's why I diversified the amount of games that I show on stream. But well, pretty much that's the idea. I love RTS games. I love them. I know it's a forgotten genre by now. I also have here these ones are offline MOBAs as well, but you've never seen those. They are offline MOBAs, versions that can be played completely offline of MOBAs, for example. That I like testing the bots and those things, and then of course I like strategy in general, real time strategy, in that sense. So well, there I think I gave you. I think you didn't ask for it. Sorry, man. But yeah, I think I gave you all of the recommendations possible because I love talking about. When I start talking about those things, as well as the metaphysical analysis and the rest of the things that I mention on stream, I get lost in thought. As you can see, for me, for the stream, in my particular case, the gameplay is absolutely is secondary compared to the chats that I can have with people. In that sense, it's a bit different. I know that a lot of people watch streamers, for example, for I don't know extra crazy gameplay like me doing Chromax the Invincible or whatever, or people farming Drakensang at level 100 and etc. In case it was you, the end, thank you from the bottom of my heart for subscribing over at YouTube. In case it was you, because it has also the I at the beginning. So there, yeah, because it's it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And well, as you can see, I do those things pretty much. Yes, I subbed. Okay. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. There you have the full review vault with everything, and well, would love to play Path of Exile with you because it would be like getting the Frozen in time for me. would love to play like here on Twitch the Path of Exile with you. If you have another one, and then I can show you Star Wars: The Republic. You have bots, but you can we can also play together in that sense. I love showing it to new players, just like you did with Drakensang Online. In that sense, we can do it. I love playing with people. I play with District. I play with other viewers. It's absolutely amazing. You're all my incredible internet friends in that sense. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So yes, basically that, basically that, and sadly, people, I have to go. I have to go. It's late for me, but I Thinder, thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me farm. Because in that sense, the main story quest was was absolutely locked for me. I think it's a terrible level design choice and a terrible influence of the gameplay mechanics in that sense, locking the player out of it. But same, it's late for me. 2 is 3 a.m. Besides that, so well, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I deeply appreciate your company. Same thanks go for Ambra and Flying Energies that were before, and they also had to go. But a special thanks to you that you helped me farm today. In that sense, deep thanks, and we could try Path of Exile maybe for the next free before or next year. I was quite intrigued to do so. I was quite intrigued to do so, and well, hope the stream and the chat was enjoyable for you as well. See you all in the next one, people. No worries. Next time you need help in Drakensang, let me know. Perfect, perfect. How do I uh, contact that? I can. There was a way that I added. No, not this one. Here, from here, I could add to. It was like this. Add to body list. Here you should be with control and add to friend. There you are. There you are. Here. This is district. This is Patrick, and this one is Iteki. All right. Here you are. Okay. Perfect. Well, otherwise, then if not, it's when I stream the game. Oh, I see. Yeah. These are the other people that have helped me. The rest of the great friends of the channel that also visited me from several parts of Europe. For example, here this one is Patrick from Hungary. This is District from Romania. This is Iteki. I don't know the country in his case. And yeah, well, Ambra from Poland as well. And then there's also Jacob from Czechia. In that sense. Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's when I stream, basically, that I get locked out of the quest. I generally don't like bothering people. In all honesty, in all honesty. So, okay. Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was to hit the end stream. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It hit her, and for being the 56th follower of the channel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Uh, if you stream, I would follow you back. That's my policy. If you stream, I follow you back. If in that case, I know because a lot of people stream in that sense. Well, then anyway, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, and well, now I don't stream. No worry. Okay. Perfect. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and well, just one thing, one last thing. If you see any weird aspect of metaphysics when I chat about the reviews over at YouTube, well, give it time because, as they say, the lore of the channel in that sense is deep. I analyze absolutely crazy stuff that may sound weird, but in the end, it does make sense. You will see. It's what I tell everyone. In a sense, deep thanks for your company. If you needed any more game recommendations or introduction to Star Wars: The Republic, which is the game that I highly recommend to you, uh, no worries. I can introduce you to a game. If you want a game infinite, like you described, I can give it to you. It's my favorite game of all time. It's Star Wars: The Republic, and I can introduce you to it. So it's not that shocking. It will be like World of Warcraft, and if you really like an infinite game, that. And then we're gonna play Path of Exile together. People, it's been my deepest pleasure sharing my time with you all, especially you. Thanks for all of the company. Besides, this was only my second affiliate stream after 4 years. So well, pretty much I'm still starting over there. Thanks from the bottom of my heart, and I won't steal more of your time, people. I also chat about life and those things. I love chatting with everyone about those things. For example, the other day I was chatting about how I'm an only child, and at the end of and then Flying Energies had a brother, and the Beautiful Channel had a brother, and how I told him that yes, maybe at the beginning we don't appreciate having brothers in our lives, as brothers and sisters, but then at the end of life, when you have to take care of your parents, you do things like that. I also chat about, because I had to take care of my 91-year-old grandma in that sense during the pandemic. So pretty much I talked about those things. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Hope my recommendations were useful, and see you next time. I deeply appreciate your company. Well, I don't have siblings, and I'm glad you are also only child, like me. You're also only child. You will be the only one in the channel besides me. The rest, they all have brothers, as far as I can tell. Yes, oh well. Oh well. Well, I'm glad that at least now there's one more only child in the channel besides me. In that sense, I think the rest of them, they all have at least one brother or one sister. They all have at least one more. In that sense, well, we have to fund, and I bet you and childhood was a bit more lonely. I bet it was like that for me. So I bet it was the same for you. And in that sense, generally they tell us they tell us only children. Sorry, it's just that I get lost in thought with these chats. They tell us you have everything for yourself. You have everything for yourself. You are so fortunate. We are not. He got my. You played with your dad. He got my anything to game. Well, same with me. Same with. I still have the. Here, I think I can show you. Yeah, I think I can show you. It was the same for me. Exactly the same as you are describing. In my case, it was Prince, the original Prince of Persia that he played back then, and then this was my first video game. Not only my first video game, this was one of my first possessions that I still keep close to my heart. Of course, this is a scarce supercomputer animal racing simulator. It's an old game from 1998. I'm from 1995. I'm 29. So I used to play this with my dad, precisely. Yes, in that case, it's the opposite. I am on your club that I wouldn't change being only child. But there's one thing that what I learned, at least, Enthroned. I think the first game you ever touched was Medal of Honor. Which one? Because there are several editions. The game your dad showed to you, like the one from the PS2 era, that it was also on PC. For example, Medal of Honor. Damn, I love that. The first one, I think. The first medal, the very first one. Okay. Like this, like it was meant to be a successor of Battlefield in that sense, or it was the other way around. No, I think Medal of Honor was first. Because played it on the laptop, from what I remember. No, well, okay. In my case, in my case, it was Scar. The first Medal of Honor, not quite classic. From that one, then it was a right Battlefield. If my memory serves me right, it was like that. First Medal of Honor, then Battlefield. And then I have to. I don't know which one was first now. Now you left me with that. He liked the World War II types of games, shooters. Okay. Yeah, I love those. He's into World War II topic. Oh well, I love chatting about that if you'd like. I've lost a lot of viewers because of things that I've said about the topic. That's why I don't talk about it anymore. But if you promise me you don't get offended, we can. I first tell people that I'm a monarchist. I admire deeply Great Britain in that sense, because it has been the most stable monarchy so far. And well, there's the aspect of relativism and a lot of philosophical things that I get into, that I love chatting about those things. That's why generally my audience is older than me as well. So this is the case. Most of my audience is older than me. There are exceptions, of course. There are exceptions, of course. For example, Patrick, Phantom, they are not. I like the topic, but I'm not that dedicated like my dad. I would love to chat about it. I would love to chat. I love chatting about history in that sense. I love chatting about history with 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 about those things. I love them. I love them. I studied not history of humanity, but history of consciousness of humanity as philosopher. You loved history when you were going to high school. Love to hear about it from. Well, then I can assure you, some of the streams you will love them much more than your teachers at school, because I talk about, well, I talk about relativism and realism. As a scholastic philosopher, I don't care that much about what humans did physically, but what they did mentally. And in the 1700s, ironically close to the breakout of World War in a relative period of time, relative to first the invasion of Napoleon and then World War One and Two, basically, um, it wasn't a coincidence that a person named Immanuel Kant, for example, if you can Google what I take care of, let's say what I studied about, what I talk about, is how a person called Immanuel Kant, a philosopher, unified mental perception with metaphysical reality. As I've said previously, um, for me, for me, this metaphysical entity in time and space is a mouse, not because several persons agree to vote it is a mouse, but because the arrangement of particles is so specific in time and space that the metaphysical entity is inherently a mouse. This is the principle of most medieval monarchies before, precisely before the advent of, let's say, the modern state of Napoleon and then World War One and Two. Ironically, most people always forget about how Napoleon did the same as the criminals of World War II from Germany. In that sense, it was both sides that did the same back and forth. In that sense, the same terrible crimes. But it was the curious thing is that it was right after that no one mentions it. Yeah, I think it's in that sense. It's curious that no one ever mentions that Napoleon did the same. He did the same 100 years before. And 100 years before Napoleon is not a coincidence. I'll give you a key, then we can chat in depth about this. I generally don't talk about this when with viewers because they would get bored in most cases. But basically, um, Napoleon existed, World War One existed, and World War Two existed. I remember from school that Napoleon did the same and felt the same. Indeed. But I don't. I and before that, why did he exist? When the, as I said, in my case, it's a bias. I believe that the stability of the medieval monarchies and the Roman Empire, that might be my Italian bias in that sense. Don't take me into account, people. But the stability of a monarchy, that there's one more center of authority divided from the executive that transcends it. Let's not confuse monarchy with tyranny, because a lot of people, this is the classic mistake. People think that a monarchy, that a European monarchy, like the United Kingdom, like Norway, like generally from the Americas, generally from the United States, this happens. And I'm in the Americas, I'm in Argentina, so I know this very well. Generally, they think that those European monarchies, because they didn't transition through the modern state revolution of Napoleon and World War One and Two, since they remained stable, they're a tyranny or a dictatorship, and it's not the case. The difference between the tyranny and a monarchy is that in that case, the monarchy wasn't derived from the meaning of the modern state like it was in World War One, in which the Nazis precisely absorbed something called the Volksgemeinschaft, which was the inherited spirit of the German community. In the case of a monarchy, it derives from religion. It derives from the state being, I don't know, Catholic or Protestant in the case of the UK, and etc. And that has a lot of consequences that they are not taken, looked at in depth on a philosophical level. For example, in the Protestant monarchy, in that sense that I said is the most stable that so far I've seen. I would rate Roman Empire and then the British. It was the first constitution in the world in that sense, and it has remained stable for 1,000 years. So I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. So in coincidences. So like that. And this person called Immanuel Kant, what I can provide you as an interesting detail is that 100 years before Napoleon, he was the one responsible. He lived in to the north west of Poland precisely. It was previously Prussia, and in that sense, is in the very small zone that is now called Krelowiec. I think that during World War II it changed hands because of all of the invasions of first Germany and then Russia. A person called Immanuel Kant, who was Prussian, back then in the 1600s, he unified mental perception with metaphysical reality, creating relativism, in which if we all vote that this gaming mouse is a chair, then it is a chair, because precisely it doesn't matter how particles arrange themselves, because you can never reach objective metaphysical reality. The mental perception is more important than that objective metaphysical reality. It doesn't exist, basically. It's just our perception of it, of the outside world in the plane of time and space. I am the opposite of that in that sense. For me, this is not a gaming mouse because we all voted it to be a gaming mouse. It's a gaming mouse because the particles arrange themselves naturally like that. Well, if I haven't scared you after this, which is generally what scared a lot of people off in general of the channel, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I think there, and well, it's deeply. I feel deeply proud that the people who care about history and different games and etc. Uh, at least discover my channel in that sense. I have to go as well. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your company. I always appreciate. Same goes for Ambra that was before and all of the days before that you visited me, Ambra. Always. For Flying Energies, for Patrick. He wasn't today at the beginning, but he was yesterday. So thanks from the bottom of my heart, Tinder. Hope you have a great Wednesday and see you later. Then we can play Path of Exile and let's see.